Hey, y'all, here we go at long last, the ride that everyone has been waiting for, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. I was lucky enough to get to ride this on Memorial Day of 2018, and I definitely have some thoughts and opinions about this ride. To begin with, if you plan on riding right now, you better get ready to run because I got in an hour early, and you can see that there was a stampede for the ride. Just to avoid long lines. But once you get there, there's still going to be long lines anyway because they're only running one train at the moment, unfortunately. There's also a locker situation going on. When you first get to the ride, you're requested to put everything in a locker. Some people don't have the money to pay for it, I guess, so they're hiding their stuff in various places around the structure. So hopefully Cedar Fair will do something about that because I don't think it's really fair to people to have to leave their belongings like that. But just a little backstory. Before going on the ride, I really disliked Mean Streak. It was the coaster I hated the most. Just to make a long story short, I waited for it for 3 hours in the hot sun just a year or two after it opened, and it was really a bad ride even back then. So I've always hated that ride. So I wasn't really that excited for Steel Vengeance. I know a lot of people were really going out of their minds about it, but I was not one of those people just because I despise Mean Streak so much. So what then were my first thoughts coming off this ride? I can honestly tell you this ride is epic. Someone else described it to me that way before I wrote it, and I can honestly say that's the truth. This ride is going to be iconic and legendary. It's like an event riding it. It's something more than a coaster ride. It's just more like a journey. It's fast. It's steep. There's airtime all over the place. The coaster is constantly just twisting and turning, and something is going on every second. And only the only real break you get during the entire ride is on the brake run, the mid-course brake run, which does offer a nice reprieve from all the action. My personal favorite parts of the ride were the coming out of the outward bank turn that dives under the lift hill structure. I really like that part a lot. I like the wave turn inside the structure. Of course, the first two elements, the first drop is excellent, and the first two hills are definitely excellent as well. So everything is good about this ride, but my opinion of it is nuanced because for me personally, and this is just my opinion, I think it might be too much of a good thing. I personally found the ride probably not very re-rideable. I mean, I didn't get a chance to marathon on it, obviously, because they're only running one train at the moment. But it may have just been a little bit too much for me. Not in terms of intensity, it just goes on a little bit too long for me personally. It wouldn't be something that I would consider a coaster that I would just want to ride over and over and over again. But in the end, I think I need to ride it some more. I didn't get enough rides to really form a complete opinion of it, and I probably won't be riding it again anytime soon. So until I do, I can definitely say it is something else entirely. It's not to be missed. It is certainly a coaster that you should go on. You should get to Cedar Point as soon as possible to ride this coaster because there really is nothing else like it. For me personally, it's certainly not going to be my number one coaster or anything like that. But I know a lot of people will consider it to be their favorite coaster. It's certainly one of the best coasters at Cedar Point, if not exactly the most rideable in multiple times. But still, you got to give it a try. It's a really, really just out of this world ride. There's nothing else like it. So I do recommend you going to Cedar Point and giving this a try. And I would love to hear your thoughts and comments, or if you disagree with me or anything like that. So leave that below. Otherwise, I will talk to you next time. Enjoy the ride.